Sarah, and this week I'm going to be showing you how to navigate New York's public transportation system. Now, there isn't a lot of space in this city, and parking can cost as much as your monthly rent, so renting a car really does not make sense here. And because of that, there are tons of public transportation options for you to use. There are everything from car service to ferries to buses, the subway. So in this video, I'm going to go through all of the ways that you can use the public transportation system here to make your life so much easier and so much cheaper. So let's begin our tour of New York City's public transportation system. If you're traveling late at night or you have large suitcases, then I really recommend taking Lyft. Now, Lyft is an app where you can call a car service to wherever you are, and it's incredibly convenient. All you need to do is download the app, enter your credit card information, and then simply enter where you're going, and a car will show up. So this is my driver, Cameron.
Aloha.
Dude, you got Nintendo in here?
Yeah, I've got a Nintendo in here.
Oh my god. Let's play Nintendo.
Let's play Nintendo.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah.
No, my wife cannot know that I play video games on my off time.
Now, there are many companies in New York, but I prefer using Lyft because they're socially responsible. That's super important to me, so I like to put my money where they're making an impact. For example, Lyft is fighting climate change through their carbon offset program to ensure that all Lyft rides are carbon neutral. Also, Lyft is making it easier to vote, which is a very good thing. Did you know that in 2016, over 15 million people didn't make it to the polls because of transportation issues? It's pretty terrible. So to make sure that that doesn't happen again, this election day, November 6th, Lyft is offering 50% off all rides to the polls and free rides to underserviced communities. To get more information about this, all you need to do is click on the link in my video description below. But I just want to make sure to emphasize the importance of voting because every single vote counts. So if you're a US citizen, please vote on this election day, November 6th, because it can impact the future tremendously. And if you're a US citizen that is visiting New York but is not a New York resident, make sure to put in an absentee ballot because every single vote counts. And even if you're not in your state that day, it can make a change. The easiest way to navigate the city is by using the City Mapper app right here. Make sure you download this because it's very useful. It will show you which subways, trains, ferries, cars, walking, biking, all the different ways that you can travel throughout the city. The interesting part is it will price it out by cost. It will tell you how long it will take. It will tell you how many calories you will burn each way. It's just a very useful way to decide how to get around the city because sometimes the subway's the fastest way and sometimes biking's the fastest way or sometimes taking a car is the fastest way. You never really know. I love using the City Mapper app to determine this. Also, it has train time, so if you want to take the subway, you'll know when the next one is coming and you won't have to wait like 10 or 15 minutes. So two things to keep in mind while entering the subway is there's a green ball right up here. That green ball means that this entrance is open. If you ever see it red, that means that this entrance is closed, so you should find a different entrance. The other thing to keep in mind is some subway stations, in particular downtown Manhattan, you can only enter the downtown trains one side of the street and the uptown trains on the other side of the street. So when you're entering the train, make sure you look at that because you don't want to get in the subway and end up going downtown and not having an option to go uptown, which is what you really wanted to do. Luckily right now I'm in Midtown and they have both options, so I'm gonna go down right now. We'll buy the ticket. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to buy this little one, a MetroCard. It's pretty simple. You hit start, your language, I'm gonna go with English, and then just hit MetroCard. Now, since you don't have a MetroCard, you're probably gonna have to hit get a new card, and a $1 fee applies, which I think personally is kind of ridiculous given the fact that this is like literally a flimsy piece of paper, but you know what? It's fine. If you're here for 4 days or more, I recommend doing the unlimited MetroCard. If you're here for less than that, then do a regular MetroCard. Regular MetroCard means that you pay as you go. Unlimited means you have unlimited rides, and for yourself and only you can't buy an unlimited card and share it between people. So I'm gonna do unlimited ride. I'll do the 7-day, which is what I recommend if you're visiting. And then it will ask me, how do I wanna pay? Cash, ATM, or credit card. Choose whatever you prefer. I go with credit card. I would dip my card then I would enter my zip code and it would shoot the MetroCard out right here. And then I have my MetroCard and then we just enter right over here. So I have my MetroCard here. I'm gonna face the black bar towards me. This is the direction you're gonna wanna do it. Swipe, it's gonna be green. And that's it. And then you get on the subway. So I have 2 quick tips for using the subway. If possible, I think you should avoid rush hour. So that's between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. And this will just save you a lot of like disgusting crowds and sweatiness because sometimes it gets so packed you literally can't move and you're like this. And then the other tip, which is more of a courtesy really, is if you see an elderly person or a child or a pregnant woman, please give them your seat. It's just the right thing to do. The bus fare is also $2.75 and this is payable with a MetroCard or if you have exact change. And that is very important. You have to have exact change because the driver can't give you change. So remember that and be prepared if you're not using a MetroCard. The bus stops are located on street corners that have a tall, long sign with a round emblem on the top that looks like a bus. There's one right behind me. You'll see the pole, and on the pole they have a route of where the bus is going, so pay attention to that. As you board the bus, hold the MetroCard with the black strip on the right and the MetroCard facing you. The fare box is directly in front of you as you board, and all you need to do is dip the MetroCard into the fare box and your fare will be deducted automatically. The MetroCard will then pop right back out. Now buses stop about every 2 to 3 blocks. Buses that are marked express will stop less. Buses marked limited will stop fewer than that, so pay close attention. Push one of the tape strips located between the windows, one of the stop buttons found on the grab bar of the newer bus to signal the driver to stop. Now it's very important to stay in your seat until the bus stops. Sometimes the bus is really crowded and you're standing and there's nothing you can really do about it. I think one of the coolest parts about using the bus is that if you pay with a MetroCard, then you can transfer for free between the subway and the bus or the bus and the subway for 2 hours, which makes it really easy to get around the city at a low price, especially if you have the unlimited card because that's included in your entire rate. An important thing to note is that if you paid the fare with exact change and you need to transfer to the subway afterwards, you need to ask the driver for a transfer slip, and this is just a little white piece of paper that looks like a MetroCard kind of. It just has like a black strip on the back, and that's how you'll be able to get into the subway afterwards. One other vital thing to know is that if you're catching an express bus, that actually costs $6.50 and you'll need to buy that ticket separately unless you have a pay per charge MetroCard, which is slightly different than the unlimited. Essentially there are like 2 main types of MetroCards, unlimited or pay per charge. If you have the unlimited, you'll need to buy a little ticket at the bus ticketing machine to board an express bus. And that will be noted because it will say express. Ferries between the boroughs are $2.75 unless of course you're going to Staten Island, and then it is free, which is pretty awesome. Plus it's a pretty good view of the Statue of Liberty, but just a heads up, it does get very crowded. I know this is a tip that's shared everywhere, so I really recommend seeing the Statue of Liberty through a classic Harbor Line cruise or another way like that. You can buy tickets to the other boroughs using the NYC ferry app or through ticket agents or the ticketing booth that's located on Pier 11 and Wall Street. There's also ticket machines at each of the ferry landings. There are 2 types of tickets that you can purchase, single ride or 30-day, and also if you have a bike you can buy a ticket for that. It's slightly more expensive but really not that much, so depending on what you're looking for you can get a ticket for that specifically. One of the most scenic ways to see the city is by bike, and for that I recommend doing a city bike right here. The reason is because the other bike companies charge a lot for the whole daily pass, and City Bike has a pretty good offer. 30 minutes for $3, or you can rent it for the whole day for $12, or you can rent it for 3 days for $24. To rent a city bike, all you need to do is download their app. Once you download the app, it will pull up a map and show you all the locations where the city bikes are. And you want to focus on the ones that are green because they're available. So I'm going to click on that and it says 6 bikes available, so I'm going to unlock the bike and it will give me a code. I'm going to enter this in right here and then I can just pull it out. And that's it. One thing I just want to note is New York does have insane traffic sometimes, so just be careful with traffic when you're doing this. Also focus on bike lanes. It's just so much safer, it's so much easier. There's 2 main bike lanes on either side of Manhattan. The Hudson River Greenway is on one side. There's another bike lane all the way along the other side. Those are really great locations to bike. But one of my favorite ways is using the bike, very scenic, a good option for spring, summer, or fall. I wouldn't really recommend winter though, because it's pretty freezing. Okay, so I'm done biking and now I want to dock, so I found the green location. All I need to do is go up to an empty dock and literally just put my bike in it. And I'll know that it's docked because it will be green here, and then I can walk away. So after 30 minutes, unless you do the unlimited pass, it will charge you, so just keep in mind while you're biking. So that way you can manage how much you're spending. Thanks for joining me on my tour of New York City's public transportation system. If you like this video, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram at SarahBunky, and watch my other videos. I have tons of them on things to do, things to eat, things to see, and much, much more. I will see you next time.